Welcome back to WCCF Talks Gaming, everyone. This is episode something, 15, 16, 17? I don't know. We're getting close to 20. We're getting way on up there, but we got just a couple good topics here today. It's not going to be a terribly long show, but we're going to get into it, and depending on how outraged Chris gets, it may go a little bit longer than anticipated.
I've had a long weekend. Probably going to be outraged.
So we're going to start things off talking about Bethesda and some recent comments not necessarily Bethesda, but Microsoft and Phil Spencer and comments that he had regarding Bethesda.
Words, Keith, words.
I know, I got to pick my words up, guys. It's been a long weekend for me too, but we're going to talk about that, some potential impacts from what he said. May not be the best thing in the world for, fans of the series that Bethesda makes, but we'll see. Maybe we're wrong. And then GameStop is entering a partnership with Microsoft also, and some revenue sharing. We're going to talk about that, as well as some big changes they're making in their stores here in the US. At least that's what they're telling me. We'll see. Should start to come to fruition starting this week. And then we'll just wrap things up talking about what games we're playing, because I know Chris did some live streams. Dave's having some fun with, I don't know, fun's a strong word. I'm playing some old stuff, and then we're going to find out what Alessio's been up to, since he's a little under the weather. So if he's not as active as normal in this episode, please forgive him. Chris, start us off with Bethesda.
Well, so Microsoft and ZeniMax. Yeah, Microsoft and ZeniMax. So yeah, well, it is all the same, or it will be the same soon, because the deal's not actually gone through yet, but it's nailed on. So just cutting it down, Phil Spencer has just essentially said that the ZeniMax games and what they're going to be paying $7.5 billion for will be exclusive to the Xbox platform, which, as a financial move, I can't fault them for it. You don't spend $7.5 billion on a new toy and say, "Here you go, everybody play with it." But the problem is, this is just monumentally shit for the game. For people who play video games. The Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Doom, I'm trying to think, Prey.
Remember
what
Prey?
Other games is there? Sorry?
I think people forget Arcane Studios is part of that too.
Yeah, say.
Oh, Dishonored, yeah.
Oh, Dishonored Red.
Wolfenstein too. Yeah.
Wolfenstein as well. So there's so many games. If all of these are going to now just be on the Xbox platform, so the Xbox Series X and S and Xbox Ones and the PC, if you've played everything on the PlayStation, you're going to be getting a PS5 or PS5 discless, whichever, and you can't afford to spend another £1,200, £1,400, dollars, whatever you want to call it, or you don't want to spend another 500 whatever dollars, pounds, euros, lira, I don't know. These are not.
It's a lot of lira.
You don't want to buy another console. It's a lot of money, but you're not going to be able to play the games you have now been playing for a good decade, if not longer. And it's the part that irritates me is that, and I was going to write a big piece on it, but then I just sort of scrapped the idea, is that it's just very indicative of the hypocrisy of people who follow games. There's all this ranting going off about Epic Games and when they get an exclusive for the Epic Game Store on the PC. That doesn't... It's called an exclusive, but it doesn't exclude a single person in this world. If you can buy it on Steam on the PC, you can buy it on the PC on the Epic Game Store. They're just stores. They're not platforms. You're not excluded. Whereas this, people are celebrating this move, and it's always the people who are going to benefit from it. These people are going to have the Xbox Games Pass. They're going to have the Xbox. They are net beneficiaries, and I can't blame them for being happy about paying less for a game they want to play. But they've got to realize there's going to be 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 plus million people now who are like, oh, shit, I can't buy this game. I can't play this game unless I fork out another half a month's worth of wages, which sadly has to go for food, heat, water, electricity, everything else. And it's just bullshit. And that's the part that irritates me so much, is the fact that people will rile so much, they will be in so much anger and furore over something that doesn't exclude anybody. But this, they're just like, oh, I don't care. I get to play it on the Game Pass. Yes, these 100 million other people don't get that luxury. I could rant on more, but I'll let somebody else. It just pisses me off.
Does anybody else have anything before I jump in on it real quick?
No, I mean, it's I understand his position, of course, and yeah, it's mainly PlayStation gamers who are getting the short end of the stick, so to speak. Although Bethesda also supported Nintendo Switch as well recently with a lot of titles, but yeah, it's mostly PlayStation gamers. At the same time, of course, it's true, but it was also kind of expected, honestly. And I think
that from day one. Yeah,
it should also be noted that actually all of these games will be playable as well through xCloud. So it's you don't really need to buy an expensive piece of hardware anymore. You just need to get on xCloud and through Xbox Game Pass, and if you have a good connection, you can play those games even on a fridge. I mean, there have been videos.
Let's just hope you're not an iOS user where they still aren't allowing it.
Well, actually, yeah, but that's being fixed
Microsoft
soon.
are trying to get around it, I know.
Yeah, that should be fixed soon. So yeah, it's. I think it's. Of course, it's an kind of an obvious move from Microsoft. Yeah, of course, Bethesda has been a multi-platform company for a long time, so it is a bit of a shock for those who have, purchased all their games so far. But we also have to remember that you mentioned 100 million PlayStation gamers, but of those 100 million, I think at least, I don't know, 10, 20, or even 30, they've also always had other platforms, at least PC or Xbox.
That. I think it's just
so it's
it's just there's going to be a lot of people. As we know, in Japan, the Xbox has never been even in competition. In Europe, the Xbox does lag behind. It is obviously a big power play by Microsoft, and again, financially, I can't blame them at all. They're a company; they want to forward their product and they want to compete, and they can compete because they've got so much money behind them that, in reality, if Microsoft wanted, they could have bought Sony, and it wouldn't have been an issue. But
yeah, I mean, Japanese regulations are kind of strict.
You know what I mean? Financially, they could have bought them, but yes. Yeah, it's I think that's just it. It's just more the fact that, again, I think it's the hypocrisy that annoys me the most about it. The fact
oh yeah, I mean, if you about the Epic Game Store thing, you're absolutely right, because people have been moaning about it in the PC space, but it doesn't make much sense, honestly. So yeah, I totally agree with that. But regarding Bethesda, there is also to be said that hopefully, now Microsoft seems to be learning to be a more detached owner, so studios can retain their culture.
In this situation, I'm thinking Microsoft need to get hands-on.
Somebody needs to grab it.
After the debacle that was Fallout 76, they probably do need hands-on.
Well, anyway, besides that, Microsoft can also provide Bethesda with a lot more funding and technology, which can hopefully lead to better games, which is actually what the developers at Machine Games, which is one of the studios that gets purchased in the deal, they said recently, they think that being part of Microsoft will help them make better games because of the huge number of people at Microsoft and the support they can give, tech solutions, hardware, so it's also that should be considered, I think.
So how about you two then, Dave and Keith? Any thoughts?
Dave, you go for it.
So thank you. My perspective is simply that I am interested in competition within the gaming industry between the platform holders. and Sony got complacent. Microsoft got proactive. The gears have turned. Like the switch has been flipped. I'm pleased with that. I like that. That's my ultimate come down. By taking titles away from the PlayStation platform, Microsoft have like made themselves much more of a threat. And going forward with Game Pass and all of these other exclusives they're going to get, Sony are going to have to be so much more proactive in offering value to consumers. That's all I really
Incentivizes
care
Sony
about.
to do better.
It forces Sony to do better because,
true, yeah.
honestly, I will be surprised if 2 years from now, if Microsoft don't have a much more solid hold on the console market than they do now, I'll be shocked. I will be shocked.
Yeah.
Because from what we've seen from both consoles thus far, Microsoft are offering a lot, and Sony are offering Demon Souls.
It is a very good game, though.
They have Miles Morales too.
No, yeah, they do. They have the spiders, man.
But I mean,
All right, 8 out of 10 open world game. Let's go.
I have looked in it looks like they've got Sony's got a good bit of exclusives going on, and now Microsoft has bought their own exclusives. I think that's the only real complaint that I have. I know whenever this was first announced, I flipped a table and was like, "This is garbage! This is garbage!" Because I felt like
Did you fix the table?
No, it was over there. There's no table anymore. It broke. But it felt very much, and as an American, there's this joke that I have about the New York Yankees is that they don't have the ability to grow talent. They just buy talent. And that's what it feels like Microsoft's been doing for a while lately. Rather than actually developing themselves, they've just been buying up what somebody else has and calling it their own now. Oh, you
they're
made
not
that?
moneyballing
I
it.
made this. No. And everybody can feel however they want to about that. But the one question that I have that nobody is answering, and I keep Phil Spencer ran from me on Twitter whenever I asked it. I say ran, he just didn't answer. What about the Bethesda launcher? Everything's moving into the Xbox ecosystem. What about people who made purchases on the Bethesda launcher account because it's their own system? And I know there's people out there going, just buy it on Steam. That's what they get for not buying it on Steam, which is a horrible argument in my opinion.
Steam. They buy everything on Steam, even though you can't see everything because of the shit.
Well, and people that, even if they were given games as part of a giveaway with like hardware purchases and such, if it was a Bethesda game, you had to redeem it on the Bethesda launcher. I've got 3 games over there right now, and I get that Microsoft is going to put these on their Game Pass. And that's great if you want to spend the money for Game Pass, you'll have them. But what if you're not somebody who wants game? I get that it's a great deal. I have Game Pass. I also know a lot of people that don't have it and don't care about subscription services. And I also know a lot of people who left the subscription service because the games that are on there aren't always going to be on there.
Yeah.
Games come in, games go out. It's a lot like Netflix. The difference is with games, some people take a lot longer to play through games than they do to watch a season of something on Netflix.
Oh, certainly. Yeah.
There's no guarantee that it's going to be there.
The one thing you could look at is if you remember, GOG did a thing where if you had a game on Steam, you would just they could read your account and then you would get the game just
if
automatically added to your account on GOG. Yeah, if the developer supported it. And now I suppose since Microsoft, they're going to own ZeniMax, I can't honestly imagine them not supporting such transfer.
Oh no, that's what I'm hoping for. That's what because I went ahead while we were on here. I linked my Bethesda account with my Xbox Live, and hopefully that'll be how they do it.
I think it will be something like just sign up to this page, link both accounts, and.
But actually, you know what? I think Bethesda already did something like this. For example. Fallout 76, the game originally only launched on the Bethesda Games launcher.
Mm-hmm.
But, a while ago it also launched on Steam, and, people could transition their pushes on Steam. So, I think it's something like that. It will
I
definitely
just feel
happen.
like it's something that's being ignored right now.
Yeah, no, it's
I
a
can
good
understand.
point. But yeah, of course, I don't know. I don't think it will be around much longer in the long term. I mean, the
Yeah.
Bethesda launcher, because
I know in the
I-
financials that Microsoft have said they'll be completing the transfer. I think it's the fourth quarter, so it'll be January time, I think.
yeah.
So
Well, what happens
I think
long-term
probably about
support?
3 months after that, you'll see the end of the ZeniMax launcher or
Yeah.
Bethesda launcher.
Well, and you've got the games that are still going to come out on PS5. So the games that are still
Yeah.
slated for the time exclusivity.
Yeah.
I wonder how long-term support for those games are going to be. Or are
I
they
think
just
they'll
gonna?
have
Are
to
they
be
gonna
the
walk?
same support. No, I
Does
think
it?
they'll have the
Does
same
it?
support.
You think so?
I think they'll do that just to keep goodwill, but it's only 2 games.
But what?
Yeah.
Why do you benefit from the goodwill?
Well, I
Because
mean,
then people will think, oh, well, they're doing this, they're still supporting these games. I might buy the Game Pass on, and play it on my Android phone or
Yeah.
with xCloud sort of thing. It is a knock-on effect, and it's not only that, but if these people then find that 6 months down the line, 12 months down the line, they've got $500 to the side. You
Yeah.
know what? I'll buy an Xbox Series X to go alongside my PS5.
It's fair enough.
Yeah.
I think that's about all we got on the
Unless
whole.
anybody's got anything
Anybody
to
got
add on
anything
that.
else?
Dave?
Xbox is all right.
It's
That's why you painted your walls green, isn't it?
That is the hot take for the start of this podcast. Dave goes, Xbox is all right.
It's not bad. I have no problem with Xbox. I'm leery
No,
of
I
this
don't.
move.
I don't either.
Yeah, no, just one
I'm
quick
skeptical.
Oh, good.
quick point to your point, Keith, when
Go
you
for it.
mentioned that you'd rather have Microsoft grow their studios. And yeah, of course, it's understandable, but at the same time, growing studios from the ground up takes a lot of time, a lot more time, of
Oh,
course.
for certain.
And there is actually one studio that they are growing up, and it's called The Initiative. They've been hiring
true.
a
Yeah,
lot
I've
of
done
AAA developers, former developers that have done AAA games, like from Crystal Dynamics, Naughty Dog, I think even CD Projekt, lots of folks from big studios to make these new studios, and actually they're calling it instead of AAA, like
Oh, don't get me started on this.
yeah, AAA. Should be,
Quadruple A. Absolute bullshit term. AAA in itself's bullshit. All it means is
It's
the
all a whole
budget
bunch of
size. It
A's.
doesn't mean the game's going to be good. Quadruple A.
yeah. So it's
Bullshit.
I think it's rumored to be doing a new Perfect Dark game, which would be
I can
interesting.
live with that.
We'll see. We'll see what they do with it. I hope it's
I want
better
to
than
see what
Zero.
Rare's doing next.
Better be better than
Doing
Zero.
Everwild, aren't they?
Hmm?
Rare. Everwild. Is it Everwild?
Oh, that's the
yes.
one. It looks quite good, to be fair. That.
We'll see. I hope it's
I
better
like
than
the look
that
of it.
pirate game that just has you
See,
running
weirdly
in circles.
enough, yes, that was absolute dog shit when it launched, but it's good now.
Hold on, what's that? I
It's
lost
good
Chris.
if you have a bunch of friends to play it
I lost
with.
Chris.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's fair enough. I
I
did have
can't
a
hear
few
him.
friends.
I've said it before. If you gotta have friends, the game's not what's good. Your friends are what's good.
Yeah, but if it is if it is developed as a friends play with friends game, I suppose.
Sea of Thieves isn't bad. I think the problem that I
Yeah.
have with Sea of Thieves is I wish the world were bigger because I just enjoyed getting on my little sloop and going out and
Yeah.
exploring. There's not a whole lot to do in it. That's the only thing that I had a
Mhm.
gripe with. But while we're on the Microsoft kick, the other thing with Microsoft is doing is, can somebody explain to me this whole partnership with GameStop and the revenue sharing, like how that's working? Because that sounds like a
So-
really good thing for GameStop and to keep the doors
It's
open.
fantastic for GameStop, and again, this is a good move. It's a fantastic move by Microsoft financially because it incentivizes GameStop to sell an Xbox over a PlayStation.
Yeah.
So any game, any console, the Xbox Series S, I believe. I don't know if it's for the X as well as the S. Can somebody tell me before I continue?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure both. Just let me look it up, but I think it's both. It's
Okay. For now, I'll just continue as if it's both, but it could be just the S. So, a console sold by GameStop, an Xbox Series console, anything bought digitally from then on, GameStop will get a share of the revenue.
yeah,
That
actually,
okay. Go on.
sorry to interject,
No, you're all right.
Chris. Yeah, it's just looking at the tweet with Domo Capital, so which got the news from GameStop. So GameStop are going to get revenue sharing on all downstream revenue. That includes digital downloads and digital content
Yep.
from any device that GameStop brings
Any.
into the Xbox system.
Right. So yeah, it's the S as well as the X. So if somebody buys a console from GameStop, then they go on, they buy Halo Infinite or Halo Infinite 10 or whatever. They buy that. GameStop will get a share of that revenue, so they're not losing out on the fact that it's not a physical sale. And then any DLC bought with that console, even for games bought in, let's say they go to Walmart and buy a game. Yeah, GameStop don't get a cut of that because it's a physical sale.
But if they
Any
buy the digital,
DLC, yes. Well, no, if they buy a physical copy for these X, but then if they buy DLC for that copy, then GameStop will benefit even from a game sold by Walmart because the DLC is digital. So you can buy a physical copy of the game anywhere. GameStop doesn't benefit if it's not from GameStop, but any DLC after that, if it's a console bought from GameStop, they will benefit. They will get a cut of that revenue.
Okay, so they had to have bought the console from GameStop.
Yes. I
Gotcha.
don't know how they're going to track it. Maybe it
Serial
would be
numbers,
down by
dude.
serial. Yeah, I'm going to say probably by
Yeah.
serial number.
See, that's an easy one to
But
track.
yeah, it's such a massive boost for GameStop because let's face it, digital is killing retail.
Retail, yeah.
Yeah,
It really is.
And GameStop's trying to adapt and is in whatever kind of way they can. I know everybody,
Yeah.
listening probably has a feeling about GameStop because I went in one yesterday.
I'm from the U. I mean, me and Dave are both from the UK. Alessio's from Italy, so we've heard of GameStop. We've heard of the atrocious business practices during COVID, and we've heard of the fact that. I mean, there's videos online. We know that the fact that some of the people working there probably couldn't tell you
I
the
used to
difference
work
between
for
an
'em.
RPG and a racing game.
Yeah.
Well,
Actually,
that tells us everything, Keith.
I was
actually,
not a commonality there, but I have
Yeah.
worked for the company, and this was doing the math on it 15 years ago that I worked for them. So it was very different back then. But the problem is if they go under, it's just like with any industry there's not a lot of game shops here in America. There's in this area, there's
There is
regional
here
ones,
in the
there's small
UK.
ones, which I feel like I'm going to say this, you should support your regional small mom and pop game stores. You really should, especially because like for me, I can go in there and
Completely
still
agree.
find Nintendo games. And like there's a place called Game Exchange in the area. Love it. They're not going to sell you a magazine or a subscription service. They're going to sell you a game. They're going to buy a game from you, and they're going to give you an honest, fair price. The thing is, not everywhere can support these small regional places, and there's a lot of places in the country where GameStop is your only option for being able to go in and buy something. Walmart, Best Buy, they really kind of suck for games. They'll have the number one hits. If you want the next Call of Duty, you'll be able to go in there and find it. But if you want an older game for a console, even if it's a modern console and you just can't find it,
You're
they're
screwed.
probably going to have it. Now, GameStop has made some really stupid moves. They've really fouled up because they hire venture capitalists to try and figure out how to keep them floating, and then they don't really know how to cater to their actual customer. And if this can help keep them open for the people who need to be able to go in and buy something, because when you take away those stores, the only option people have are the big box. Because GameStop for its goods and bads, it's still a small company. So now you're gonna take away all possibility for them exist and give it to just Target, Best Buy, Walmart, and you're just gonna let them be
Amazon.
the
Let's face it, Amazon.
yeah, and Amazon is from a consumer standpoint, I mean, if you can buy it, if you got to return it, whatever, they'll take care of their customers. But there's something to be said for being able to walk in and pick up something.
Oh, yeah, certainly. If you want that same day where I want a game now, I want to play this game today, I'll just go to the shop and buy it.
I mean, I still go in. I'm a PC gamer
Yeah.
primarily, and I still like to go into the store because there's just something fun about it.
Yeah, I mean, in the UK, we've got Game, and they've just been. I mean, again, it's the same wolves of GameStop, and the fact that the physical industry has just been demolished, and you've still got some game stores which are standalone. But as strange as it is now, it's been taken over by a company called Sports Direct,
I've
and
seen
now
that.
you'll find a corner, and now in my town. The game's gone. It's completely gone. But now, or to an extent, it's gone. Now you go into the Sports Direct store, and just in the corner, there's about just tall shelves, about 3 tall shelves, 4 tall shelves, and it's just a tiny corner of the huge store, and that is the new game, or that is
Wow.
game.
I
And
didn't know that they'd actually been combining those. I didn't know.
yeah.
And
They've
if you
been
wouldn't have
combining
gone
them.
into the store originally, like you'd be like Dave and not know that they did that.
Yeah.
So
So you might have to go to Sports Direct in the future, Dave.
wow.
Yeah. So, on the GameStop thing, like, don't know how you got there, Chris. Don't know how you went that off track. But on the GameStop thing,
I think I blame Keith.
like,
I blame Keith.
stop talking. On the GameStop thing, I actually think it's such a smart move from both the perspective of Microsoft and GameStop to get into this deal. Because if I were personally running a store and there was digital only consoles, I just wouldn't sell them.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
just wouldn't sell the digital PS5. I just wouldn't sell the Series S because
they're not
I
gonna
know
come
long
back to
term
you.
that those will damage my own business. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this
True.
is a genius idea from Microsoft because they're going to support GameStop long term. GameStop are actively going to be selling more Series S's to people. They're not trying to upsell people to Series X on purpose.
Yeah.
This is an excellent deal.
They're
And the
probably
fact that
gonna
Sony
push
haven't done something similar.
exactly. That's where I was going because now you got the PS5 digital only
Digital.
for $100
Will
more.
Sony do that, and will we see Microsoft and Sony do it here in the UK and elsewhere?
It's interesting.
Yeah. To that point, actually, we do have a GameStop here in Italy. I have like 4 stores only
Oh,
in a 10-mile radius here. So it's, yeah, absolutely. We have it. And I've also bought several consoles from them, not the PS5 pre-order because it was all gone. So I had to use another retailer. But yeah, it's pretty big here as well. So it's an interesting move from both of them, kind of unexpected, but like you said, at the same time, it makes perfect sense, for each company because they get something they wouldn't otherwise have access to. And actually, speaking of access, one of the key points of the press release is also about all access, Xbox All Access, and it's been pretty clear that Microsoft will be pushing this. And now through GameStop, I'm kind of expecting that the first thing any GameStop employee will propose you as a customer is, you know what, you can get the Xbox Series S or X with no upfront cost. Just get Xbox All Access, and that also
yeah.
means that Microsoft is not only getting a new Xbox customer, but also an Xbox Game Pass customer, which is what they're most interested in.
My family and my is looking to do that for my younger brother, actually. So yeah, that's
It's a lot easier
even
way to
in-
bite it
yeah.
off.
Yeah. It's not a massive upfront payment.
Speaking of GameStop and like some moves that they're making to stay open, I was in one the other day and found out something real interesting that I haven't seen really any news about is what they're doing on the PC gaming front. Sounds like they're about to, I don't want to say lease out a section of their store, but they're definitely moving more into the PC business and hardware specifically. That's the interesting part. I was approached by one of their game advisors trying to sell me their whole thing, their power up rewards thing. Whenever I was looking at
Mm.
it, I was looking for an old game because they're about to just completely stop carrying old PS3 stuff. So I need to find whatever I can get quickly before it's all gone. But she's like, "Oh, well, what consoles do you have?" And I said, "Well, I typically play on PC." And she went, "Oh, well, let me tell you what we got coming." And I was like, "Uh-huh." You always hear this, "Oh, we're going to cater to PC gamers." They've always had like the one section of like World of Warcraft, where you could buy like the game cards and stuff. But she said they're actually getting some of the stores here already have like full peripheral sections for like Logitech and Razer. So you can tell that the companies are probably doing some kickbacks to GameStop to get their branded stuff, but they're about to do a whole section, and they're going to do hardware too, like the towers, monitors, the works. Like you said, they're going to have like a full blown PC gaming section. I mean, even here, Walmart's gotten into it. They have a whole section in their store, like usually 8 to 12 feet in most stores. They've got Razer keyboards, they've got Corsair keyboards, they've got the mice, headsets. They may not sell the games, but they know that they can sell the hardware and the peripherals, and they can make good money off of it. Because I'm telling you, if I've got a headset right here. It died. The mic died. I can't use it. And if I could go down and try on a couple different pairs, I'm way more likely to pick one up. And right now, the only option that in this area that you really have is Best Buy for that. Again, Walmart has some things, but if you've got Best Buy, Walmart, GameStop, you've got all these people now carrying hardware that you can run and go grab off the shelf. I mean, the stuff sells. I've seen
Yeah.
people in the Best Buy down here with cowboy boots on and a trucker hat, and they're buying a $150 headset because they heard on the Fortnite that it made them sound real good.
Could
So-
you be any more Southern, Keith?
I could get a little bit more if I needed to. But I just think it's really cool that they're making those moves.
Yeah.
Do you know? Well, it doesn't sound like Game is over there is making any kind of effort to do that. They're just going into the corner of a sports shop.
Well, there's in the big cities, like there's the main store in London that has got one shelf with actual towers on as well.
Okay.
But for the most part now, you'll find them in the corner of a sports store. So it's handy for when I go buy a new pair of trainers and want to game at the same time. But
It's good
I
for
don't know
VR. The whole
That's a good
section,
shout.
VR workout
Yeah.
section. Alessio, you
Yeah,
should go
yeah,
check
yeah.
out your local GameStops there and ask if they're doing anything like that in Italy. That would be interesting.
Yeah, I think I'll do that. COVID notwithstanding. So,
It's worth the
Yeah,
risk.
from my perspective, I think PC hardware is a long overdue section to focus on for all these game stores. It was only today, one of my cousins messaged me on Facebook because I believe she's building a PC for her son, and she was like, "Oh, does this PC look good? Does this look good?" and sending me links to shops and stuff. So this is not something I've ever actually come across before. I've only known of kids wanting consoles. Now they're officially wanting gaming PCs.
There's a lot of people here that I've gotten
Yeah,
more
I bet.
messages this year than ever from people. It's like, hey, my kid really wants a gaming PC. And they're people that I know whose kids have been
Yeah.
playing on consoles.
Mhm.
And esports and Twitch are really turning these kids into.
I was just going to say, do you think that this whole scene is really making people think of the PC more?
I think it is in
Yeah.
that sense, but they're thinking of it combined. So a lot of people think, a lot of people in that hold on to their box or their tower, they think everybody's like them and they want their one thing. These kids are wanting the computer and the console.
Yeah.
They're wanting to
yeah.
build something. They're wanting to make a name for themselves. It's cool. I tell people, encourage it. I mean, don't just let them. As a matter of fact, I had a conversation last night at dinner with somebody. They were like, my nephew, he just wants to be a pro gamer. And I said, well, let him try. And they were like, how would you? I said, no, but let him know that you can't just sit and play the game and expect it to do something. You've got to get creative with it. You've got to they have to create. I said, Now, if they're just sitting around for 8 hours a day, twiddling their thumbs, playing in circles, that's not the same thing. But if they're setting schedules and they're developing skills for themselves, they can market that onto something different down the road if they don't follow through.
I
They
think
could
that
get in
really is
digital
it.
marketing.
That really
Yes.
is it. When all these pro gamers, no matter where you look at it, they found their own brand and they've marketed that brand.
Mhm.
And you start by marketing to an audience, drawing people in however you want to, through the rampant squealings of PewDiePie to people just being normal. But then, yeah, it is transferable skills, I suppose.
It's just I don't think a lot of people older than our age that may have kids
Yeah.
that are into it now, they don't see the value in it because guys, I know everyone in here was told at some point you're wasting your time playing video games.
I still
Yeah.
get told that.
I
I
mean,
tell
that's
myself that.
It depends on how good the
Yeah.
game is or not. Speaking of games that are good or not, let's just kind of wrap things up with what we're playing these days. I know what we all know. All of the three of us know. We don't want to know what Alessio's been playing. What you been playing, Alessio?
well, other than the MMO, I've been playing with my guild for a while. If we're talking about new stuff, I've been playing the new Black Ops Cold War PC beta.
Ah,
So yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, it's it's Call of Duty. It's relatively similar to the last years, and all the ones that came before. But at the same time, it feels good. The shooting is tight, so it kind of it's satisfying.
is
In
that
the
an open
moment.
beta?
It
No,
is now, I
actually,
think.
no, I think it's still a pre-order beta this weekend, but
Okay.
I think next weekend it should be open. And they've already got the reflex technology that you can select in the settings. And I have to say, playing it with an HDMI 2.1 at 4K and 120 Hz, it feels really, responsive, smooth.
Oh, nice.
And but it doesn't have either DLSS or ray tracing, which will be in the final game, so it will be interesting.
That'll be fun. Dave's got a really fun one.
Yeah.
All right, I guess we'll skip talking about Call of Duty. I have opinions on that too, but
Well, you watched me for an hour and a half.
I did watch Chris play Call of Duty. I also played a bunch of it myself on PlayStation, but I'm playing this Mario Kart Live Home
Circuit.
Circuit.
Don't give it all away. I know you're gonna do a piece
Yeah.
on it, so just
So yeah. The video and the article will be coming soon. But essentially, I spent a lot of today with the full intentions of making a video illustrating the kind of people that this game is for, and it's for people that have a lot of floor space, more floor space than me. And if you have more floor space than me, I hate you. I hate you. Oh, also, you can't use it outside, and that sucks. Someone else can take it now.
No.
Dave seems really sad about this.
Yeah, I think he really we know how much he loves the Nintendo, so if he can't praise Nintendo to high heaven, then he gets sad.
tisk,
Well,
tisk,
I'll go.
tisk.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go next. I've been.
just
I
wanna
haven't really
be
played
happy.
much. He's got the hat on now. Well, that's one thing. I played a bit of Call of Duty Black Ops, Cold War, Cold Beta, Iced Tea, and I just and you know what? It's the first Call of Duty I've actually played in about 5 years, if not more. For usual, for me being a stubborn git reasons, the fact I've just been avoiding Activision Blizzard products. I did a long stream on it. I was on it for about an hour and a half, and you know what? Like Alessio says, it plays well. I can't say it plays the same as other Call of Duties because, again, I haven't played one in 5 years, and I suppose I think with the series like that, you need a break now. And the
It
fact that
does. I'll agree to that.
I've had such a long break of 5 years, or if not more, that it actually feels fresh, or it feels like something I can actually play, and I'm like, you know what? This isn't the same as something I played 2 months ago. This isn't identical to something that has been released every single year, simply because, well, it might be I haven't played them. And I suppose that, that distance actually helps. Not that
Yeah.
I should. I'm going to say maybe that's not the best way of selling Call of Duty. Stop buying it for a few years just so you can actually have fun again.
I mean, I'll piggyback off that, Chris. You're right, because I quit playing it for a long time, and then I picked up Modern Warfare, and I enjoyed it. You know, with the remake that came out, I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
yeah.
I don't enjoy the daily 20 gig updates because I
Yeah.
too, like Alessio, I'm doing something with that NVIDIA Reflex, so that's really cool. So sticking around for that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, maybe in a couple of days.
Let me chime in a little bit more on Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War beta, because I find it really interesting. This whole title, I like playing all the Call of Duty betas. I've played like all the betas since like I think Black Ops 3. I've just been every time there's a beta out, I'll just have a little go, and that'll usually satiate me. And I played a whole bunch of Warzone earlier in the year. And now we've got this. It's not got a battle royale mode. Instead, it's going to continue to be using Warzone. So Warzone's going to continue. That's all good. And instead, it's got like a fire team mode, which is sort of like the large scale combat mode. It's kind of like Battlefield. You get a team of 4 people, multiple teams. You can spawn on your team, or you can like parachute in. It works pretty well. But the one thing that's been occurring to me over and over again is that this game has learned lessons from the likes of Warzone. For example, you've got like armor plates to put in your jacket instead of like a health. And I like that sort of stuff, but also it feels, how do I put this? It feels more arcadey than Warzone, because Modern Warfare, as I think we mostly know, is on their like brand new upgraded game engine. And as if you've been keeping up with the news earlier in the year, you'll know that Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War was meant to come out next year and was sort of pushed up by Activision because of apparently another one of their Call of Duty studios dropping the ball pretty hard. So what we have here is a game with a slightly older engine. Sledgehammer, right. So we're actually looking at a slightly older engine. And then if I'm like thinking about Call of Duty Warzone and I'm playing Black Ops Cold War, you notice it's slightly older. And that's not me trying to say it's bad,
but you can tell.
Notice. Yeah, you can tell. It feels a little bit lighter, a little bit floatier. The guns feel
interesting.
I don't know how to put it into specifics without playing a good few more hours of it, but it's unusual. Despite that, though, interested to see what Treyarch do with another Call of Duty campaign, because that's what I like from Call of Duty games.
I like the Cold War.
Speaking of,
actually, it's sorry, just wanted to say that it's actually Raven Software which is making the campaign mostly. That's interesting. I think the campaign could be a good one.
Nice.
Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
So what are you playing, Keith?
You're talking about older, looking older, feeling older, playing older. I've been playing something older.
Classics. Absolute classics.
I've never gotten the chance to play it, and because I've been in a rash of going around grabbing PlayStation 3 games off of the shelves of local GameStops, just trying to clear their inventory because they're not taking anymore. And
I'm thinking people who are just listening to this don't know what games you're talking about here.
Oh,
you
yes.
Just showed it to the camera.
Ico and Shadow of the Colossus collection on PlayStation 3. So very much games I've always wanted to play and never got around to playing it. I got super excited and I picked it up and I put it on Twitter and I was like, I got it, because I wanted the copy with the original artwork and everything. I mean, I know it's the remastered one, but you know what I'm saying. I didn't want.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I didn't want to have to print my own sleeve. And anyway, I posted a thing and somebody was like, well, you can get them on the PS4. I'm like, I don't have a PS4. I was like, you can't play the PS4 on the PS3, so what does that matter? And they were like, oh, good point. Like, exactly. But no, enjoying older games. That's just kind of my thing right now. I'm in the middle of testing new graphics cards that have been coming out lately. So I'm in my computer anytime I'm not. I don't want to be here whenever I don't have to be right now. So that's usually what I do is I relax in front of a console and my TV over there. So that's really all I've got. Has anybody got any last words before we close it up and call it a day?
Shadow of the Colossus is good.
Yes, very.
I'll finish. I'll get to it after I finish.
Yeah, just an interesting one since we're actually going into the biggest month of the year in terms of releases. Between October and November. So big games like the next Assassin's Creed are coming out, and actually something that Ubisoft announced is that Valhalla will have an option. Actually, it will have a lot of options. For example, different difficulty options for combat or exploration or stealth, which is interesting. But I think arguably the most interesting one is that you can turn on guaranteed assassination, which is kind of one of the things that people had problems with since the series kind of switched towards RPGs, because for high level targets you couldn't assassinate them instantly. You kind of damage them, and but you didn't kill them outright.
Oh, so it's not an easy mode sort of thing. It's just like making it a bit more Assassin's Creedy.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I do
so,
like the sound of that.
Yeah, so regardless of the level of your enemy, if you actually get an assassination, move, he or she will die. So
I'm
it's
gonna have to be
interesting.
slightly cynical here, but are they going to have a DL or something you can buy where to make it so you level up quicker? Skip the grind.
I don't know.
They had words for those, but
Yeah.
that's about it for the day, guys. We'll catch everybody in the next one. Later.
Have a good one.
Bye.